Hi everyone, this is how you make the rubber band powered car for the Year 8 assessment task. So please pay attention to the detail. And if you make a mistake, you can always rewind the video and play back the part that you missed. First step, grab a skewer, then some thread, some nail polish, and your paper clip. With the paper clip, undo the paper clip like so. As you can see here, it's a little bit hard with your fingers, so you might need to use the pliers. So you can unbend it like that, straighten it out a bit, and notice how the paper clip is in an L shape. So that's an L shape for you. Now we need to measure out, and I'll just grab a ruler. My assistant here will just grab for me a ruler. Now, with the ruler, measure 22 millimeters. As you can see here, 22 millimeters is at that point there. And you can mark it with a pen, but it happens to be exactly at that bend, so I'm going to cut 22 millimeters at that bend there. And 22 millimeters for the other leg as well. As you can see, pick up the paper clip, cut it at 22 millimeters. Alright, next step, grab your skewer, and you need to measure 30 millimeters from the end. Put a little mark. Now I'm going to put a little mark with a pen. I think it's 30 millimeters off the top of my head. It could be 32, but let me check that. There it's, yes, it's 30 millimeters right there. And you just lay the bend of the paper clip onto that mark and hold it like that. Like that. Grab your thread and then start winding.
A little bit lower.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
18. Good way to improve your counting skills. Not that you need to count them, but let's make sure we've got quite a few turns here so it's nice and strong. And notice how I'm pulling it quite tightly so that the bends are very tight. And I'm going back on itself like that, right back to where I started, like that. Okay, so that's what's happened there. You can see I've wrapped the paper clip onto the skewer. Now I need to cut the paper clip, cut the thread. Scissors are not too crash hot, but they'll do. Now, so that this can stay there, we need to paint it with a bit of varnish or nail polish. So take out the nail polish and just paint the thread. Now the nail polish will soak into the thread and it will make the thread hard. It will also stick it to the skewer and also adds a little bit of colour to your project to make it look nice, I guess. So there it is. Now, once you finish that, it'll take a little while for the varnish or the nail polish to dry. So just put that aside, and now you can work on the other parts of your car. So you'll need to get your 4 bottle caps. Now 4 bottle caps. Now notice I've got 4 big ones here. I don't have the 2 small ones at the front. It's not that critical, but the back ones have to be large. So remember that. The back wheels have to be large. Grab the cork and nail and go over to the Bunsen burner. First thing, you don't need to keep it for very long on the Bunsen flame, just a short time. Tip of the blue flame is the hottest point, of course, so if you want to heat it up effectively, you put it on the tip of the blue flame. So I'm roughly guessing here where it is. You don't need to have it on the hottest setting, but you can have it sort of halfway so you can see the yellow flame and the nail's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Now you don't want to make the hole too big. So the hot nail will push its way through the plastic like this. Nice and gently, like that. And there's your hole. Now notice how I did this by eye, because there's a mark in the middle Sorry, these ones don't have it, but this one had a mark in the middle, so I don't need to mark it out. But if you haven't got a mark on your bottle cap, you're not sure where to put the mark, use a ruler and mark the center like this and like this. And there's the cross. Heat up your nail on a cork. Don't need to heat it up very long, and don't keep it in the plastic for very long. You just quickly push it through like that.
Warm it up again. Push it through like that. Warm it up again. Push it through like that. Now,
You need to also put a hole in the washers. Now these are the washers. See these two pieces of clear plastic? These two pieces of clear plastic need to have a hole in them. Exactly the same thing. Put a hole in it like that. And the other one here. There it is. Right, now put the Bunsen burner back to the yellow flame so it can be seen for safety reasons, and move away back to your desk. Now remember, don't touch the hot nail, obviously. Right, now back at your desk, push the skewer into the wheel like that. Now nail polish is a little bit still wet, so I'm going to hold this with the pliers so I don't get nail polish on my hand. Push it in like that. Okay, so there's your rear wheel. Slot it into your core flute. Oh, sorry, before you do that, push in your washer. Now, the washer can just stay short of the paper clip like that, and then you can put your whole arrangement into the core flute. And the washer goes into the skewer. The skewer goes into the washer like so. Second wheel over the washer like so. Be careful not to hurt yourself. It has to be tight. You can't have these loose. So if you're not sure about getting these wheels in, maybe ask your teacher for some help. Okay, now just check that that turns. Look at that. Beautiful. You can now trim your skewer. Back part is ready. Same with the front, except the front now you don't need to have your washers on the front. They're not important.
like that. Push that in there like that.
Push the second wheel onto the skewer.
Be careful at this point. Slide it right in.
Don't push it too tight onto the core flute. Keep it loose like this. And trim the skewer off. There you have a rolling car. Now notice how when I roll it, the washer and the excuse me, and the paper clip are touching the ground. So that's going to require some trimming. So let's trim the washer. Trim the washer down here like that.
And like that.
And the paper clip needs to be shorter than the edge of the wheel.
I'm just going to cut it down to about here.
Now check that it rolls, and it rolls really, really well. So now we need to put the rubber band. So we need another skewer and a little bit of plasticine. Put the skewer in on the opposite side of the paper clip. So push it in here, away from the front wheels, not too close. About there. Push your plasticine in there. Now I don't have plasticine on the instructions, but on the paper instructions. And then trim that off. Now you need two rubber bands, one like this, one like this. Cut one of the rubber bands, tie it onto the second rubber band.
It's a nice double knot.
Like that. There it is. So you've got one rubber band tied onto the other one. Then tie the loose end onto the skewer of your car. Okay. Now, if the nail polish is dry, you can then, and this is pretty dry, I think it'll work, hook it over the paper clip like that, and now you can wind it up. 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, 4 turns, 5 turns, and you can put it on the ground. You can add a little bit of mass to your car because sometimes on a shiny or a smooth surface it won't go very well unless it has a little bit of weight on the back. So I'll just put a little bit of weight here, and now it's all wound up. Here we go. Does my car work? Has this been successful? Oh, look at that. Fantastic. So you can adjust the turns on the back of your car. You can put 10 turns, 5 turns, 6 turns, 20 turns. So that will determine the amount of energy you're giving your car before you let it go. Let's do that again. Now this is a very shiny surface, so my car wheels are spinning very, very fast on here. So maybe if I put the scissors on top as well, let's see what happens. Here we go. Whoa, look at that. Gone.
Oh, that's much nicer.
Fantastic.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for watching.